We're live on YouTube.
We're live, cool. So hello everyone online and actually in person. This is going to be a bit strange for me. One, because I haven't done an in-person council in nearly 2 years, so this is a bit strange. But also hello to people on the owl, hello. Cool, welcome to council, by the way. This is council. This is an opportunity for reps to be able to represent their cohorts for wider changes across the university. So how the meeting will work. So all of you who are on Zoom, if you keep your mic and video muted unless called on to speak, if you want to ask any questions or speak in favour or against something, message the questions account. You can simply post your questions in the chat, or if you'd like to directly speak on the call, type I would like to speak on this. The chair will read out your question if you put it in the chat, or unmute your mic and tell you when it's your turn to speak if you ask to speak. We'll run polls during the call for you to vote on each report and motion. These will be up for 2 minutes. If you can't vote on the poll, of course. Oh, okay. Once again, for those in the room, apologies for any teething issues we may experience. Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Should I do this bit again? Because it's 4 people on Zoom. Okay, thank you.
How is everyone?
You all right, guys? You good? Yeah? Thumbs up there. Yeah, all sides of them. You all right? Sweet. Anyone had their lunch yet? Yes. What'd you have? Jam sandwich. Fair. Solid. I haven't had my sandwich. I have had some grapes and a donut. Balanced diet. Have you made sure that the minutes have noted that I've got donuts and grapes in my belly? No? No, you don't have to do that. That's fine. Is everything all right there? Okay, I'm going to continue, I think. So hopefully people on Zoom can hear. So yes, as I was saying, we'll run polls during the call for you to vote on each report and motion. These will be up for 2 minutes. If you can't vote on the poll, message questions in chat to log your vote. I think the issue might be around someone being named questions, but if they can't change their name, it might be Jess.
Alex, sorry, you've muted online.
Thank you very much. How long have I been muted for, guys? Did you hear anything?
About
Do you
3
hear anything
minutes,
now?
Alex.
About 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, whistle stop tour. People on Zoom, keep your mic and video muted unless you're called on to speak. If you want to ask any questions or speak in favour or against something, message the questions account, or you can simply post your questions in the chat, or if you'd like to speak directly on the call, say I'd like to speak on this. The chair, that is currently me, will read out your question if you put it in the chat, or unmute your mic and tell you it's your turn to speak if you've asked to speak. We'll run polls during the call for you to vote on each report and motion. These will be up to 2 minutes. You can't vote, if you can't vote on a poll, message questions, or if that hasn't been resolved, I think it was Jesse. So if you can't vote on a poll, message questions or Jesse in the chat call to log your vote. In person, you've heard because you're here and you can hear me, and I know that. Everyone, so this is mainly to you guys because these guys have already heard it. You can vote to accept, I agree with this idea, or I think this is a good report. You can vote to reject, I don't like this idea and I don't think this is a good report, or abstain, I'm not sure about this idea or report. For each report and motion, show of hands for in-person polls on Zoom. We'll try to make sure contributions from people in person and online are evenly balanced, and make sure that you keep your points on topic and brief, and remember that you are here to represent your cohorts. So, on to elections. So, we need a new chair and deputy chair and DPC. So, chair runs the meeting and makes sure that everyone gets a chance to have a say. That's currently me. For those of you on Zoom, I've said this to them, so they can ignore me. I'm the current chair, but I have other things to be doing, so we need to nominate a new one. And then deputy chair steps in for the chair if they are unavailable for any reason. DPC, Democratic Procedures Committee, makes sure that council and elections run per our rules and generally advises on improving our governance. There is full training on all of these roles. You'll pick up loads of skills, and of course they count towards your Suffolk Plus hours where you can get free stuff. So, woo, free stuff. Okay. So, chair. Bradley, if I missed anything. Yeah. Cool. So, chair, is there anyone here online or in person who would like to nominate themselves as chair to lead the council meetings, to follow our bylaws, to work as a team, and effectively take over from what I'm currently doing? Do we have anyone else? I will look at the work chat if anyone wants to message me online. That's you guys, hey?
I mean, if I don't get the thing I wanted in the DPC, I'll gladly do it.
Thank you, person in the sky.
That's all right.
Sorry, Bradley?
That was Shannon.
That was Shannon. Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you got names of those, and then I will move on before we go on to voting. We were going to describe deputy chair next, weren't we?
Yes, but is Shannon running or not?
Shannon, would you like to run or not?
Yes, I would.
Yes, you would like to run. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have one in the room and one online. We have Robert in the room and Shannon online. Should I give opportunity to speak now or after?
We'll go. We'll do it now.
Do it now. Okay, so in the order of people who raise their hands first, Robert, why would you like to be chair? Why do you think you'd be good in the role? Feel free to stand.
Well, if you would like, you can speak front, and then you could also give your student number after you've done that.
Oh, what?
Student number. And
okay.
Also, if you come down here.
I do not require your shoe.
You don't want my shoes. My shoes are horrible. They're replacing at this rate.
I don't think those shoes are too bad. I've carried you here.
Well, that's a fair argument. Quite philosophical as well. Hello, I'm Robert Gray. I am the second year student rep for the history students. You probably want my student number.
We'll give it to Bradley in a moment.
They announced that just in time.
Yeah. Why do I think I would be a decent chair? Currently, I have not got many responsibilities as part of my student rep responsibilities with the history students, so I can dedicate my full efforts to being a good chair and making sure everybody has a say in matters concerning their education here in the University of Suffolk. I have a very good shouty voice.
Very nice.
It's always a plus. I'm also a mature student, so I have some experience in the workplace and dealing with workplace matters. So I like to think I have a decent work ethic. So I react quickly to new situations and don't just let them fall by the wayside.
Thank you very much, Robert. If you want to, then
Yeah.
Bradley, your S number, and I will ask Shannon. Shannon, your turn to follow up if you're happy to.
Yeah. Running
Hi,
a student council is very important to me, as it gives everyone a chance to have to say in the utmost important matters. I think that I would be a good choice to be chair of the student council, as I have previous experience in said aspect, as I was rep for the art and design course and head of the student council over at Suffolk New College. And also, I think I could bring that fun element that it mentions on the PowerPoint, because yes, you want it to be serious, but you want it to be as fun as it can be, because you want people to be invested, you want people to follow along. And I think that my outstanding personality and the fact that I have more of an openness, you could say, because obviously I'm on an arts-led course, I'm more led to voicing my opinions in the strongest way possible.
Thank you very much, Shannon. Bradley, do you have Shannon's S number without me having to ask for it?
Shannon Pillsworth, isn't it?
It is Shannon Pillsworth, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's good, isn't he?
Now he
Amazing.
knows.
Thank you. Before we go on to voting, this will be held online just as a warning. So if you have a device with you for those in the room, so your phone or your laptop, we'll be doing it via that. People in the call maybe open another tab. We'll do that after we've announced the other positions. Hello, Dara.
Are we able to turn up the Zoom very slightly?
Maybe.
So it's filmed.
Yeah. I would do that via that if it was on and working.
You just don't mask it up, yeah.
Can someone in the Zoom call speak?
Hi.
How loud was that? Amazing. Thank you, person. Back through the slides again. Oh. Next one, deputy chair. It's the same thing, but not. Is there anyone who would like to run for deputy chair? This is essentially filling in for when the chair isn't available, whether they need to step down from the position to bring forward a motion or whether they can't attend a certain meeting. Would anyone like to run for this slot? I'm looking in the room and waiting for people in the work chat as well. We have a hand in the room. I'll just wait a moment in case someone's trying to type in the chat.
Just to say, it's very minimal commitment, because you only have to do something if the chair can't do it. Just a sanity.
I started as a deputy chair. Minimal commitment. I now have a full-time job. Yeah. It's up to you, really. I want to be here, so that's all right. Okay, so we have one person, Bradley. Would you like to come give Bradley your S number?
Yeah. If you would like to make an impassioned speech.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Feel free to tell people why people should make sure that they vote for you.
Oh my God. I'm the only one. I think I win by like what?
Not necessarily. Amazing.
Hello, I'm Bianca, and I'm running for deputy chair. I'm in my last year of psychology and criminology. There's not much to know about me. I'm also a student ambassador, and I'm trying to work with everyone and make a better place for year 2 students, because I don't know if that was just COVID or everyone, but my main reason is I felt left out during year 2. I felt that the teachers weren't giving us enough attention, and I'm trying to make everyone's life enjoyable at uni, not only year 1 and year 3, which get the most attention, in my opinion. Might be different for others, but I've had a lot of opinions that are quite similar to me. Feel free to share with me so I can actually help other people as well. Thank
Amazing.
you.
Thank you. And then to Bradley for the S number. Thank you very much for everyone nominating themselves so far. And finally, the Democratic Procedures Committee. So these are the people that make sure that everything is running smoothly and according to our bylaws, and as scary as that may sound, it's really not. Bradley makes it really easy through the training available, and you learn a lot from it. So they make sure that student council is fair and factual, engaging, accessible to all, transparent, student-led, and once again, fun. If anyone would like to nominate themselves who hasn't previously nominated themselves, whether they be in the call or in the room, make yourselves known. And I'll also keep an eye on my phone colleagues if someone is applying via call. There's one in the chat, I have been told. Jesse, that person has already applied, so I'll go on to the next screen where it gives a manifesto of those who have applied prior to the meeting. Is there anyone? Hi there, you're right. Feel free to say something now that you've come off mic.
Prince of War. Prince of War.
Hi there. Yes, I've got you on the next screen. If you wanted to read your manifesto, it is on there. But just for now, for everyone in the call and in the room, here are some of the candidates who have already applied to be DPC. I believe there's 5 positions.
There is. I do also have this statement from Albus as well.
Would you like to read aloud?
Yes. I'm trying to find it. I'm just going to read it out. Is that okay, Joe?
Feel free.
Yes, this is from Albus.
Zoom, can you hear Bradley? Bradley, do you want to come up here? Just in case. Thank you.
I'll start the lecture.
Yeah, amazing.
I'll come back to the lecture. Great. So this is from Albus. Please vote for me so that we can make University of Suffolk a place to be. This is my response to the intensive implementation of COVID-19 measures due to the increase of infected new cases in Suffolk, understanding the root causes of students' issues and providing a sustainable, smart solutions.
So thanks very much. Okay, so should I go on to, I think you're up next anyway with direction onto the website.
Yes, so when it's just those 5 for DPC, is it?
I believe so, yes. No more through on my phone, yeah. And no one in the room, unless I miss someone. I apologise if I miss someone. No, cool.
Yes, so if everyone, shall I talk to everyone?
Yes, please, Bradley.
If everyone could go to the Student Union website, usunion.org, and log in, should be your normal University of Suffolk login details, your number, whatever your password is. Then when you're on the homepage, go to the Your Voice tab, and on the drop down there'll be Student Council. Yeah, that's great.
Your Voice.
Down to Student Council. Come on.
I was doing
And
it so
then
people can see.
you see on the left there's a Council Votes tab. Go on that. But don't try and vote just yet, because I just need to add the last bits to the election. So about 2 minutes once you're all there.
If you're on the mobile site, it'll be at the bottom.
Dara in the crowd, for those on Zoom, has just said if you're on the mobile site, it will be at the bottom, so it might look slightly different to how I have it on my screen here. And make sure that you are logged in on the top right of your screen to be able to cast your vote. So yes, as Bradley said, he is now just sorting out the voting situation so that all of the candidates are on there and it gets launched. So it's incapable of connecting. Sorry?
There's no Wi-Fi or service.
There's no Wi-Fi or service. I'm on Wi-Fi.
In university, is there one?
Yeah.
Well, in this room.
I'm on Edgerome.
Mine's working.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes it's
Ah, it's problematic.
just do like the weird.
We now have people in person walking around the room with their phones to try and find Wi-Fi. Is that actually is that proven to work? Is that actually helpful? I don't know. I feel like
You're closer to a satellite than aren't you? I suppose.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like in a boxing ring, like round 2.
Chair, voting should be up if you refresh that page.
Voting should be up. Apparently, I'm refreshing my page. I mean, I'm not logged in, so it might look different for people.
Yeah, it says polls are open.
Oh, polls are open. Okay, amazing. How long should I give, Bradley? Remember to vote for chair, deputy chair, and for DPC.
Should we give people 5 minutes?
We'll give people 5 minutes.
There's lots of issues and everything. So
Yeah.
That's really well over here.
We'll monitor for any issues that are going on. We'll give everyone 5 minutes. That should account for it. So if you cast your votes and you have 4 minutes to spare because you got really lucky with your Wi-Fi and you're not in the room, feel free to make yourself a cup of tea. But we'll commence at 35 past. Bradley.
Just to note, it is like the rest of the elections, it is preference ranking. So you can give people like your favourite candidate, you give them a 1, second favourite a 2, and so on. Obviously, for DPC, there's 5 candidates, but there are 5 positions. For chair, we've got 2 candidates, but there's only 1 position. So factor that into your voting as you wish.
Thank you very much, Bradley. I will be back, in the words of Arnold.
How's everyone in the room doing? Has everyone managed to get in and vote? Yeah? Fantastic. That's gone surprisingly and suspiciously smoothly. Okay, right. Yeah, God, you can think sometimes. Yeah. Have you managed to do it?
No.
No. Is it the Wi-Fi connection?
Yeah, I've got nothing. My phone's too old to work anything like this. All right, let's try that. Let's see if I can remember my code.
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
If you don't know your birthday, then there's something seriously wrong.
Hello again, everyone, and Zoom. So I make that 5 pass. I've been able to myself. I'm just going to monitor. If anyone hasn't managed to vote, announce that in the chat now, or if you're in the room, say me. Oh, Robert, hi. You're right. Sorry. We'll work that out.
I mean, you can come and disclose your votes to me. It won't be a secret ballot that way, because I'll know how you vote, but you can tell me, and I can add that into the votes if you want.
Okay.
So it's not a perfect solution, but I don't know.
It's a better solution than nothing.
The solution we've come to.
I'm about to do it first. It's not going to be a secret vote anyway.
For those who are in the Zoom call, the way we have resolved issues that people are having in person is to come and secretly disclose to Bradley. The issue with that is
They can email us to democracy.
yeah,
it's not ideal.
it's not ideal. If anyone is desperate to cast their vote, make sure that you email su.democracy. I will type that here. Will that work? su.democracy. Have I spelled that right? Cool. su.democracy@uos.ac.uk.
Can they announce the chat now?
Yes. Can you announce in the chat if you are going to send your votes for each different role? Can you announce that in the Zoom call now that you are going to email? If not, can you also let us know that you're not going to?
Chair, am I okay to close the poll on the website?
So we are having someone send you an email, and we also have a student come staff member as well, who does not qualify, Bradley. I believe they're a postgraduate, part-time. Oh,
Put it in the chat.
yeah, if you could put that in the chat for me, Meg. Yeah, good guy to solve that actually. Never mind, we've resolved that issue. They are sending an email, Bradley. So in that case, I think
Just one email.
yes, just one. Got that. And Robert, did you want to come to close to disclose to Bradley? Lovely.
I can guess you vote for chair.
Yeah. Not me.
You actually not.
No.
Oh, you're icky. Oh, your hands are oh, yeah. It's walking straight out. Oh, okay. You're special.
Okay, so once the results are in, we are just getting the final email to Bradley and the final disclosure, and then I will leave it over to Bradley to come and announce.
But could I suggest maybe you do motion action whilst I have a few minutes to count?
Sure.
That's you and Megan.
Yeah, so the first, okay. Okay, we are going to continue on with the meeting. Bradley is just going to vote the count, count the count, do the count. And I will just continue with the meeting until we have our new elected members. So first of all, we have a motion for hybrid meetings bylaw change motion. This is problematic because I'm actually the proposer of this and I'm also chair. So
go on some motion actions.
Motions and actions. Okay.
Your last minute.
Announcements. Announcements are great. We're going to do announcements. Okay. Bradley, this one's yours. I'll announce it. I'll announce it. So we currently have elections going on for the postgraduate officer. So if you are a postgraduate student, you are eligible to vote for your officer. And also, in theory, everyone in the call/room should be eligible to vote for the NUS delegate as well. So if you have a moment whilst we're waiting, or if you wanted to do it outside the meeting, make sure that you do go and vote for postgrad officer and NUS delegate as well. We also have a survey, and all you really need to know is that there's free stuff available if you do the survey. So if you do the survey, you might get some goodies, but essentially it's to work out our strategic direction. We're undergoing review and have had some external companies in to work out exactly how the SU should work, essentially. And we would like to hear from you, your opinions. Sophia, so this is a feedback tool, Suffolk Online Feedback in Action. This is a feedback tool that was previously only open to reps, but it is now open to all students. So make sure that you guys are using it. You can feedback about any issues you have, whether it be about timetabling, parking, your lectures, something to do with the SU. It can be good or bad, but make sure that you guys and your cohorts know that they can use it. Governance review working group. So we're also doing a governance review as well as our strategic review. Make our SU better. So the Students' Union, that's me, Ben, everyone else, and the Students' Union are about to embark on a governance review where we review how we operate, make sure everything we do is accessible to students and effective as it can be. Students must be at the heart of this review, so we're recruiting a number of different roles to be part of our governance review working group. Being a part of this group will give you a chance to make a lasting impact on the student experience. So if you want to get involved with any of these things, contact Bradley or su.democracy, which I previously had on the screen, to get involved. And then give it a go. So next Saturday, Saturday the 20th, we are going to Avid. That's amazing because I like Avid. Tickets go on sale later today, so tell your friends if you don't fancy it, but you know someone who might, to try their hand at climbing. I'm really excited for this. Almost overly excited for this. And also Christmas markets. So we also have a Christmas market which we're planning at the moment. This will be Thursday the 2nd of December. I think it's also open to students and small businesses, local businesses, student businesses. If you know anyone who would like to come to that, let them know, give them a nudge, and they can sign up on the website. There's a form on the website. Ask Gagana. Gagana's in the call, or if in doubt, stay behind at the end for those in the room and speak to us about it if you're interested, and we'll be able to help you out a bit more. Also, not on here, Recharge Week. Recharge Week is happening next week, and more comms are going out on that as well. It's a whole week where there's multiple different departments in the university who are going to be hosting different drop-in sessions and events for you to get involved with. And the Students' Union are holding a Just Brew It on the Thursday, 1 till 2. Thank you, Katie. And another big night in, which we did during Freshers as well. And we're going to be watching Shrek on the Wednesday, 5 till 7. Nods, cool. I think that's all the announcements. Bradley, do we have people? Yes, please.
Hey,
I'll leave it on the Christmas market slide.
thanks everyone. That vote went surprisingly smoothly. I was a bit worried about the tech, but that was fine. Obviously, if anyone wants to see any vote breakdowns, I can send it to you afterwards. But for the position of chair, Shannon was elected as chair. Congratulations, Shannon. And Congratulations,
I was not expecting that. My mum in the background, sorry.
No worries.
Bianca was elected as deputy chair.
Woo!
And everyone that stood to be DPC received enough votes to be elected to DPC.
Congratulations, everyone.
There is a question how we proceed at this point, because obviously we've got a new chair elected who would normally take over at this point. It might be slightly difficult for Shannon to do that online.
On this occasion.
On this occasion.
Yes. So
potentially our deputy chair. Dropping you in it. If you're not comfortable, you don't have to, it's fine.
We have another option if not, for now. So until I guess you guys have received training and come to speak to Bradley, this shall proceed with you.
Yeah, unless the deputy chair wants to. No?
Not yet.
No. Sorry, what was that?
Not yet.
Not yet, that's fine. I mean, so I can run the rest of this meeting if the meeting is comfortable with that. It's not I get a thumbs up from my colleague.
I believe in you.
I mean, normally we want it to be students running the meeting, not staff, but in this instance, I just think it might be quite difficult for the chair to facilitate it via Zoom. Is the meeting? So you speak now if you have any strong objections to me. I will not take offence as well. No?
I think it's a good idea to have this handover period.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So for Shannon, we will do full training with you as chair ahead of the next council meeting, so you can fully take on the role.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I will go back to this and hand over to Bradley. Thank you for listening to my annoying voice, and I'm here now, but over to Bradley.
Verbally, literally wrong. Great. I see you next anyway, I think.
Yeah, I'll sit down.
So don't sit down. Great. Thanks, everyone. Well done to those that have just been elected. So the agenda is slightly out of order, because it always is in a first meeting, because normally we hear the motions after reports. But because we've got a motion that is about how the meeting should run, we thought it'd be sensible, once we've got people elected into positions, to talk about that. So basically, this motion is a discussion around how you want hybrid councils to run. So over to our sabbatical officers.
All right, long time no see. How's it going, guys? So yes, essentially, as you can tell, we're doing hybrid. The reason we couldn't put this through before now is, well, this is the first council. And ironically, we're asking you if it's okay to do hybrid council meetings 47 minutes into a hybrid council meeting. But however, this is essentially, the student council operates in a fairly tightly prescribed way due to our bylaws. And we currently don't have a way of saying we should do it hybrid, because the default is to have it in person. But it makes a lot of sense to, as we're still technically in the pandemic, and we had certain members who were able to attend throughout the pandemic who wouldn't have been able to attend otherwise due to other commitments, to make a hybrid approach, essentially. Thank you, Chair.
Great. Open to questions or comments, really, from anyone, online or in person. Robert?
How does the matter of not being able to vote over the internet affect this matter? I do not know, this is our first meeting.
Sure.
Are you going to place into measures that allow for physical votes,
So,
or that is non-connected to internet?
So, in theory, that's the last that we should really need to use the website for. So from now on, votes on motions and reports and this motion, those of you who are in the room will be able to do it via raise of hands, and then people who are online obviously already have internet because they're there. So we'll be able to vote via the polls that are, you can't see the polls because you're here, but they have polls come up on their screen to say.
The reason we did the elections on the website was so that we could do the single transferable voting system, because that would have been an absolute nightmare for me to try and work out in my head off a piece of paper. So for normal motions where it's just a yes or a no, then we can do it by show of hands for people in the room. Other questions online or in person? Comments for and against? Not seeing. Sorry, I'm just checking I'm not like just checking my text while I'm in front of you. I'm checking the group WhatsApp to see if anything's come through. I'm not seeing anything come through. So I suppose we can move to a vote. Val and Katie, could you give me a hand in counting hands that go up in here at this point? So Gagana, I think if you could get a poll ready for this, for those on Zoom. So what we're going to do is those on Zoom will vote via a poll, and then those in the room will vote by hand, and then we'll combine those 2 votes together. So we won't announce the results straight away because we'll need to do a bit of quick maths before we announce them. So is the
first one is about
if the hybrid meetings bylaw change, it should be titled Gagana.
it's the one the minutes.
They're not necessarily in order, but you can change which one
Sure.
it is. It's fine. Got weird not being able to see the other meeting. We need to maybe do something about that. Join on that laptop and then have it muted to avoid echo. Not helpful.
Can you, if you phrase that you agree, you actually have to click. Basically, we're not going to look at the comment, but on the poll. So please select for, against, or abstain.
Is she talking to me? Sorry. Are you talking to me, Guyana? Sorry, I couldn't quite hear that.
I was talking to the people who write in the chat agree.
Oh, right. Okay. Is the poll now live?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So we'll also do a vote of hands. So Val and Katie can count. So all those in favour in the meeting, please raise your hand. I make 15. What have you got? Oh, I didn't see you two, sorry.
17.
Yeah, I didn't see these two. Can you just make a note of that? Great. All those against? Nope. Any abstentions?
You abstain? Oh, sorry.
Great. So what we'll do is we'll combine that with the poll result. Gagana, I don't know if you've got that poll result yet. Has everyone had a chance on the Zoom call to vote? Oh, I've got my messages in the chat.
We have 17 people for, no one is against, and 2 people abstain.
Okay, so I make that 34 in favour and 0 against in total. So that motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And the meeting will run alongside these bylaws now as well. Great. Good announcements. That's loads of announcements. Approval of minutes from the last meeting and motions and actions update. Did you do this while I was doing? No, you just did announcements. Cool. So approval of the last minutes meetings. So these were sent in the papers. So it's a chance for anyone to comment on any inaccuracies in the minutes that anyone spotted, or any issues that you think arise from those minutes. So speak now if you've got any issues with the minutes at all. Nothing coming through on Zoom by the looks of it either. Great, we're going to move to a vote. So Gagana, if we could have the poll up for Zoom for approval of last meeting's minutes. So let me know when that's up and then we'll do the vote here.
The poll is now in progress.
Great. Hand counters, if you could just count for me. All those in the meeting in favour of the last minutes meetings. I've said it again. Last meeting's minutes. Yeah. All those against? And any abstentions? Fantastic. Is the poll doing, Gagana, or do you need a minute more, or how are we doing?
17 people voted, which is the same number voted on the previous one. We have 14 people accept, 15 people accept, 0 reject, and 3 people abstain.
So I make that 32 in favour and 0 against, 3 abstentions. So these are passed. Thank you very much. Motions and actions update. This is flat officers once more. So just to note, so what this is that anything that's come up in previous student councils, if you all vote to pass a policy, for instance, then at the next council or one after that, there'll be an update on what's actually happened as a result of that. So that's what this bit is. It's about stuff that's passed at previous councils and we're giving you an update on what's going on because of them.
Okay, so the baby nurture room, a previous motion to council, Amber, our women's officer, has been working really hard and meeting with the states to make this happen, and the room is now open and located in the waterfront building. There have been a few teething problems, however, I am in a meeting with Amber later this week to discuss these further. Gender-neutral toilets are now on the state's radar for all future developments. Alex and I went to look around the new East renovations, where the plan is to have toilets as all gender-neutral.
Thank you very much. I know we've got officers in the room that are working on this stuff, so I don't know if either of you want to say anything on this, Amber or Dara. Don't have to, but if you want to, you can.
I can also add that for the gender neutral toilets, the signs for the ones in the library and other current buildings are in production and should be up as soon as possible.
Great. Amber, anything?
No, I think most of them we're going to meet and talk about some things, but a lot of it has been lodged through Sophia by students, which is good. So I think so far, a lot of the states will be okay.
Great. Thanks both. So we are now on officer reports. So this is basically a chance for the officers, Meg and Alex, to give you an update on what they've been working on over the past month. This one will probably be a little bit longer than the last month because we've had council for a while. And it's your chance to ask questions, make suggestions, suggest other things they should be working on, and then we do vote on these reports as well. So if you vote to reject their reports, it means you think not good enough report, or maybe they're not doing a good enough job. If you vote to accept it, it means you're happy with the report, you're happy with the progress they're making. It's your chance to hold our presidents to account. So start off with Alex, President Education Report.
Hello again. So I will mainly take my report as read, but here's some of the main things that I've been working on. So my main manifesto points, ready to graduate skills. Since having introductions with various teams across the university, I've decided that I'd like to have an event in semester 2, which will help students feel ready to graduate. So whether that be advice on rent or getting a mortgage, job hunting and more, I'd like to do something similar to what we will experience next week for Recharge Week, where it's a combination of all the different departments working together. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that a lot next week. More sustainable campus. So with this manifesto point, I originally was trying to get eco refills and second-hand clothes fairs. And we saw second-hand clothes fairs during Freshers Week. Eco refills weren't able to make it, but we're trying to bring more second-hand clothes fairs in future at maybe a slightly cheaper price than the more vintage market that we had last time, and finally get eco refills back. Meg and I also wanted to reduce the amount of single-use coffee cups in the SU, so brought a vacuum coffee cup, as you may have seen at Shop SU, £9. These are heavily subsidised because it comes from our manifesto. So each one we spent £11 on each one and we're selling them at £9. So they're cheaper than they would be otherwise, and they can actually fit under our coffee machines, which my cups in the past couldn't. So through sitting on the university board, I've also raised questions around if we can be more ambitious with our goals to hit net zero carbon emissions by 2050. The university is currently on target to be carbon neutral by 2030, but zero is more zero for carbon neutral. So we are having future discussions on that, and the board are going to bring it back to board as a whole thing that we discuss rather than just my passing question. So, which is exciting. We've been eagerly monitoring COP26 as a team, and you may have seen some of the updates we've put out on Instagram. More mental health training for personal tutors, through conversations I had before starting my role as president with the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Mohammed, and the Director for Learning and Teaching, Ellen. I've spoken to them about getting more training for personal tutors. And through the transition from personal tutors to personal academic coaches, I've been told that more training has been available throughout this process. I'm going to be joining the review meetings soon as they happen to monitor if enough is being done. Also, some other stuff that you can see, that's not an exhaustive list, but I'm also working on some of the parking issues we face, accessibility. issues around chairs in the waterfront building, shop SU, been looking at the Integrated Care Academy and well, the East renovations, block learning partnerships, Recharge Week next week, our strategic review, give it a go, come to climbing, please come to climbing, anti-spiking, Christmas very soon, and refreshes as well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Questions, comments on President Education's report? Oh yeah,
I'm
good.
not sure if this is the right place to raise this, but it says shop SU, so I'm just going to go for it.
Sure.
Is there any are there any plans to look at the offering that's in the shop being perhaps more ethical? Like as far as I'm aware, there's not really any fair trade snacks.
Yeah, so that's a really good question, and it's something that we've raised and are looking at in the background a little bit. So the issue is probably the wrong word for it, but the shop is held to, we're partnered with the NUS essentially on what we get ordered in, and we can only select things from their stock. So we are constantly nagging them to see what they're doing about reducing plastic within their products and more ethical, more vegan, more vegetarian options and things like that. So we will continue to do such and keep monitoring it, and if nothing changes in the long term, we'll look into other options potentially. So yes and no.
Just on that as well, we are currently got our elections live for NUS delegates, so it could potentially be something that you might raise with NUS delegates as well. Any other comments, questions for Alex? Got a hand at the room, Michelle.
Sorry, can I just ask your name? Sorry, just read that. I'm not very good. Thank you.
Do we have anything, colleagues on Zoom, do we have any questions at all in the chat? I'm going to come to Robert while I wait for that answer. Go ahead.
You mentioned that you're working on anti-spiking. How's the progress going on that matter?
Yeah, so Meg will have more to talk about on this because Meg's been working a lot on this, and there's actually a motion coming to this council. But so we put out a statement ourselves and have been monitoring it, and we wanted to. So we have a thing called Good Night Out campaign, which is from a previous sabbatical officer, and Meg has been doing a lot of work to try and make sure that venues in town get additional training on like safety for their staff members, which we have paid for them to do. So Meg will tell you more about that in a little bit. But
yeah, and yeah, there is a motion on that in a bit as well. So obviously you can discuss that further there. Any further questions for President Education before we move to a vote? Not seeing anything come through. Kagana, could we have a poll up for Zoom colleagues to vote on President Education's report? Let me know when that's up.
It is in progress.
Great. Counters, could I just have a hand counting votes for this, please? So all of those in favour, or all those wanting to accept the President Education's report, please raise your hand. I think you are allowed to vote on your own report, technically. Unless you don't think it's good, that's fine.
I think it's all right.
Megan, 17, yeah. 17 in favour, great. All those against? Reject the report? 0. And anyone abstaining? 0 on that as well. Gagana, how are we looking on the poll?
18 people accept, 0 reject, and 0 abstain.
Okay, so I think that's 35 accept in total, 0 reject, and 0 abstain. So that report passes. President Education. Congratulations. Next one, President Activity and Wellbeing. Want us to move on to the next bit? Yeah, no problem. We'll come back to that in a second. We have got motions now at this point. So we have, so first of all, so because you have, we had an emergency motion submitted on anti-spiking. So technically for an emergency, it came in after the deadline for motions. And obviously the reason we have the deadline is so that you will have a chance to look at papers and scrutinise them ahead of the meeting. However, we do allow emergency motions through if the meeting agrees. So if someone comes in after the deadline, but there's a good reason for it to be heard, then we do allow it to come in. So first of all, what we need to decide is if the meeting has any objections to hearing this anti-spiking campaign motion that came in after the deadline. So any objections to hearing that motion? Nope. Great. Any objections via Zoom, colleagues? No. Fantastic. So we're going to hear that motion first. So the proposer is Poppy. I don't know if Poppy is on the Zoom call. I think she registered for the Zoom call. Poppy, if you're there, feel free to say a little bit about your motion. Is Poppy in the call, Kugana? I'm not sure. She did register for the Zoom, but I'm not sure if she's actually joined.
I don't think she's present. Okay,
not a problem. So everyone has seen the motion. It did come out late, so what I will do is I'll read it out quickly, and then we'll go to for and against discussion.
Bradley,
yeah.
I'd be more than happy to read it out just because I met with Poppy directly about the motion.
Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, I'm CEO of the Students' Union. I discussed this motion with Poppy. So as you all know that biking has been used a lot recently, and I know we're all understandably worried about what they are doing to address it. Am I really crackly?
We can make you out. There's a bit of interference, but we can make you out. You're fine.
Okay, I'll press on and keep it brief. Poppy as a student believes we should be doing everything in our power to encourage venues to night out training, and we've outlined measures there. It does have some leverage in the situation because obviously we work with these venues, and for example, they wouldn't want to lose our support in terms of having bar crawls with them or them having stands of pressures, etc. So the proposal is to ask all those training before we will do further, and also some additional promotional staff as listed to support the anti-spiking campaign.
Great, thanks, Sarah. It's slightly crackly, but I think people got the gist there. Thank you. So I'm going to open up to questions, comments, speeches for and against this motion. Yeah, sorry, I don't know your name, but I'm just going to point at you. Sorry.
So just looking at the union notes, there's like 3 clubs which I believe should be added on there.
There's 3 what, sorry?
3 clubs that are into which they should be really busy. So Bar 21, Eden and New York Exchange, they're really busy as well. I recommend they go on there.
Is this in the bit on the end of the second line you're talking about? As in you think, yes, you should approach them for good night out training? Yeah, so mine, Alex has got hand, but I'll let you take that.
Yeah, I was going to add on. So good night, a little bit more on good night out campaign. This was a manifesto point from one of the previous presidents, and through us approaching multiple venues and talking to actually Good Night Out campaign, the organisation themselves, and I believe that Ipswich Central, I believe, yeah. Those are the venues that are willing to work with us. So it was wider scope to begin with. These are the ones who have got back to us, and unfortunately, we're still having to push to get the training done, basically. So we would love that, but these are the ones that are coming back. It's frustrating.
Does that answer your point sufficiently?
Yes, and also I was going to say, would it be possible for like a union or some representative union to go into one of the clubs or a race to go in and have like a help completely training with the staff members if they're not kind of applying? Would that be?
As in to go to venues rather than email them?
Yeah, could it be possible to set up a meeting where all the staff members all together and then someone comes in and speaks to them about the Good Night Out campaign and then completes the training with them, so it's definitely, they can be sure it's definitely been done. Could that be an idea?
Alex, what do you think?
I would say that that's potentially worth bringing this an amendment and voting on that amendment. I would word it as, for want of better words, we would try to get involved in that, and we want to, because it would be down to the campaign and things like that. But if we were able to, I think that'd be worthy. Yeah.
So what specifically are we asking for to change?
To have a member of SU staff included on the training days of each venue, just so that we know it was done and facilitated, and so that we're part of the collaboration, I suppose.
Okay. I think, okay, so what we'll do first is vote on adding that into the motion. So if anyone wants to speak about whether we should add that in, whether we shouldn't, speak now. Anyone on the Zoom call got any particularly strong feelings about adding that bit into the motion? Robert.
I do have a quick question. Do you have any idea what this training entails?
Yeah. Not specifically, we haven't been doing it. Yes. So I think that would make the amendment even more valuable.
I mean, there are these. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but we could send that out if you were interested.
I would like to know.
Yes.
Just so I can understand what kind of training is being given. If we can make it understood what kind of training is being received by these places, maybe we can up it up, make it sound better for themselves, make them feel like they're getting a good deal out of us, and improve the chances of getting these people on side with us.
Yeah, Michelle, could you just make a note that we can send that out if anyone else is interested? I mean,
yeah, I think it'd be interesting.
Lots of nods. We'll circulate details of that training to council members. Great. Okay, so no one else wants to speak on this amendment, this proposal.
Just two more things. Just as I think the second to last paragraph in the union says that rest is yet to respond to the email sent.
Yeah.
A couple of things. So Revolutions is currently, I don't know when the email sent out, but Revolutions is currently going for referral. So maybe it's not like a priority at the moment. The other thing that I've noticed that they've now implemented full covers for their drinks. They sent out on social media, they put out full covers and drinks. So that's one
We'd like to see additional. We'd like to see additional collaboration with us, to work with us, so that we feel that they are doing enough. Essentially, those are good measures, but we want to hear it from them, not just the social media posts. Yeah.
So factor those things into how you wish to vote. But I think, Dara, do you want to speak on the amendment?
I don't. So it's something else we could potentially add. Should I say it now or say it after?
Let's do this amendment first, unless it affects this amendment. No. Cool. So how are we going to vote on? Kagana, are you able to add a new poll to Zoom for this amendment? I think it will.
Let me give it a try.
Hybrid.
Yeah. Did not foresee an amendment. Sorry, folks. That's on me. Well, I couldn't have added the poll at the time anyway, so it's not.
Why did you not add this amendment?
Why did I not have foresight to see this? Yeah. What
are the options? Again, just accept, reject, abstain.
For, against, abstain.
Yeah.
Can I just say something quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've actually got to go because Mum needs help with groceries and that.
Yeah, no problem.
But I thought I'd just come on and say I really appreciate the people that voted for me, because I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, I did give you an acceptance speech time. Apologies. Yeah, go ahead.
That's all right. Well, I'll see you guys whenever I see you.
So, thank you, Chair. We'll see you at the next meeting.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I'm ready to launch the
Kagana, are we? Great. So just to clarify, this amendment is on adding into somewhere in this motion that an SU staff member will attend training sessions. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. So all those in favour of that, please raise your hands now. And please launch the poll, Kagana, obviously. $17. Great. All those against, please raise your hand.
No, 6.
It has to be 16 because there's one in the room.
Okay, 16.
Sorry, I didn't count. I did do a job.
All those against, please raise your hand. And any abstentions? Great. Gagana, how's the poll looking?
17 accept, 0 reject, 0 abstain.
Okay, so I make that 33 in favour, 0 against, 0 abstain. So that amendment passes. So obviously it's not on this wording now because I didn't see this ahead of time. But now we're going to talk about the motion again. And when we vote on this motion, it will be with that extra thing included now that you've just accepted, if that makes sense. Great. Moving on to the rest of the motion. Any comments, Dara?
My big question is, when the SU does events, what are the plans that the SU will provide? Are they going to provide like testing strips if someone thinks it might have been spiked? Are they going to, if a venue doesn't do the foil covers, are the SU going to provide them to make sure that any event we put on, we are also taking some responsibility in making sure that people are safe?
So, sorry, Chair.
Go ahead. I was going to say either the SABs or maybe Gagana could answer something like that.
Yeah, Gagana and Sarah may be more equipped to answer this, but we are looking into it, is all I can say at the moment. We are looking into being able to provide that, especially test strips. That's what happened.
I think if the event is at the venue, it's their responsibility. And as we don't own any venues, we can, of course, try. But it's something that's a core activity.
Dara, do you want to come back?
But if we've got our name on an event, surely we have to do something to make sure that the venues that we're using are doing the things that we want them to do. And if not, we're either not working with them, which I suppose is the bit at the bottom, or if, like for example, when the Barker went to the music room, that is just a fair venue. So that like we would need to come up with a way to do it ourselves. So I just want that to like be reflected that that's not in conversation.
Do you want to suggest changing something in the motion, or?
I think it is covered by the last little bit, but I just want to.
Yeah. And obviously SU staff are here and have noted and have heard that. So yeah. Okay. So I don't know your name, but at the back. Sorry.
I'm just. I just wanted to suggest almost to the student union about possibly considering selling or putting students into that direction of buying. There's like emergency keys you can have, and there's cup covers and testers that are all available on many different sites. Whether they could look into offering that at the shop or just kind of have it advertised, you can actually purchase these things just to have that added support for students that, you know, there is resources available that can possibly make them feel a bit safer and even save them when going out.
Great. So this is a general point. If you're suggesting something additional, there's two options. We can either vote on actually adding it to the motion, or you can just sort of suggest it and know that officers and staff have heard it and you're happy to leave it as a suggestion with them, or you can actually add it as a proper part of the motion if you want to. Would you like to add it to the motion, or are you happy leaving it as a suggestion?
Yes, pure suggestion.
Okay, no problem. Great. Alex wants to come back on that.
Any suggestions that anyone does have, feel free to also speak to us at the end of the meeting or outside the meeting as well, and we'll be able to speak to you more about it.
Great. So that'll be in the minutes now. So we'll obviously the staff team will look over that sort of stuff as well when they go over the minutes. Any other comments or questions on this motion? Have we had anything come through Zoom at all, Gagana? I don't think we have.
No.
Okay. So also a request for students that are speaking, particularly if you're all at the back, if you could speak quite loudly so people on Zoom can hear. It's a little bit of a struggle for people on Zoom to hear. The OWLTech has its limits if you're at the back. Thank you. Just checking if there's any questions. No, we've got none. So I'm going to move to a vote on this. So remember, this is voted. We're voting on the motion as amended. So that means that the stuff about SU staff attending training sessions has now been added into this motion. So Gagana, if we could have a poll up for this, please.
Poll is now in progress on Zoom.
Great. Councillors, if you give me a hand. So all those in favour of this motion, please raise your hand. Seventeen. All those against, raise your hand. And any abstentions? Fantastic. So 17 in favour, yeah? Great. Gagana, how's the poll looking?
We have 14 people accept, 0 reject, and 1 abstain. That's now 15 accept.
Okay, I mean that's going to have passed. There's at least 32 in favour, 0 reject, and 1 abstention. So that's going to pass. Thank you very much. Well done, Poppy and Meg, for that passing that motion. We've got another motion now onto a non-emergency motion on free hot water facilities. This is proposed by Cheryl and Kim. I don't know if either of those are with us, either on Zoom or in person. I don't know what everyone looks like yet, so I don't know if people are in the room or not.
Kim is in the Zoom room.
Kim, would you like to say something about this motion at all?
It was Cheryl's motion. I just backed her because I can hear the feedback. Sorry.
We can hear you quite well, actually.
Okay. I backed her because I do believe we should be entitled to hot water. We'll buy a pot noodle from the SU and then have to pay for water to apparently.
Great. Okay. Thank you for that. Anyone wishing to speak on this motion at all? For or against? Questions, comments at all? No. Anything from the Zoom? Anyone wishing to speak on this from Zoom? Someone is typing in my WhatsApp chat, so possibly. Maybe not. I don't know if Sarah's still with us. Sarah, I don't know if you wanted to say something about this. But, oh, sorry. Sorry, I missed you.
When she just said about the pot noodle, does that mean by actually buying a pot noodle from the SG? Because I've done that before, but I didn't have to pay for the hot water from the coffee machine.
Yeah, I think if you go to the one that's actually within shop space.
Speak up.
I might be wrong. I think if you go to the coffee machine that's within the zone of the shop, if you will, I think if you bought a product, you can get free hot water.
Gagana's just confirmed in the chat. If you buy noodles or porridge from the shop, the hot water is free.
So then, just to clarify, so I obviously know what I'm voting for. The motion is obviously to make the hot water free. Obviously, if let's say I bought my own pot noodle from home, I have to pay 50p for the hot water. We're voting to either say yes to have complete free hot water or not. Is that what the
I think from the wording of the motion, it would say the SU would approach the university for hot water machine. So effectively, free hot water is what the SU would be lobbying for. Is how I would read that motion. And if Cheryl or Kim want to correct me on that, but that's how I'd read it. Any other comments or questions on this motion?
May I make a quick comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to note that the shop is in a tricky financial position at the moment, and those 50p's coming in do help to keep it operational. So I think I'd like the wording of the motion, which is to approach the university, but people should know that all those 50p's add up and help keep our shop in business.
Any further comments at all? Nope. I'm going to move to a vote on this then. Gagana, if we could have a poll for this motion, please. I'm going to try and make it so we can see them next time because it's a bit.
The poll is now in progress.
Great. Councillors, please. So all those in favour of the free hot water facilities motion, please raise your hand. Keep them right up, just so it's easy for the counters to see. Great. All those against the motion? Sorry, what was that? 8. And all those abstaining on the motion? Six, right. This might actually be a tricky one to count for once. Polls, Gagana, how are we looking?
7 people accept, 6 people reject, and 2 abstain.
Right. So I count in favour is 10 in total. Yeah. Against, have you got a total?
12.
12 against.
14 against.
14 against.
And 8 abstain.
8 abstain. So that unfortunately does not pass. There's not a majority to pass that motion, so at the moment it does not pass. A suggestion to those that proposed and second, more welcome to come in and chat to the SE team and have a chat with Alex or Meg. Maybe they can work with you to still look into that issue, or maybe propose a revised motion potentially. That would be my advice on that. But that does not pass. Great. We're on to any other business at this point. You'll all be pleased to know, I'm sure. I am aware of 2 bits. Dara, we've got one from you on library hours, I believe.
Yeah, so there's a couple of us here that are considering putting forward a motion at the next council about inquiring at the uni to extend the hours of the library, and I kind of just wanted to gauge if any students are coming forward and saying that they're finding the library not open long enough, or if any of the students here would like it to be open for longer.
Hands up. I'm going to go to Bianca first.
I actually agree with that. I would like, especially on the weekends, if possible, university libraries to run longer. I, for example, have a full-time job and find it hard to go to the library within the hours because I'm either at uni, either at job. So during the weekend, I like the library to run longer so I can actually have time. And I also have to sorry. I will, for example, volunteer to stay at the library longer with another member of staff, for example, if they're short on staff, because as I know, some people left from the library. If that is possible, to have this volunteer jobs a little bit for students to not guard the library, but be there and keep the library open for the other students.
Like a student librarian.
Yeah.
They are student ambassadors, they might be able to assist. It's not technically their job, but you might be able to bring them in with them.
Yeah, we're both student ambassadors, so we can also talk that.
So potentially getting more hours for yourselves, nice. Dara, some comments there for you to factor in. Alex.
Yeah, really good suggestion, thank you. And I think Michelle might call that as well, which is very useful. I can provide some a bit of insight because this was actually a motion in my first year. So I think it's a great idea. I love it. I'm worried about going to the university about this because it wasn't, in their minds, it's still quite fresh that we did have a trial. We trialed, the idea was to make it 24 hours. And then the issue with that was there are costs around security and things like that. And then they did extended opening times as well, and they trialed these. And the trial actually came back negative. Not many people actually used it, even during the trial period. So the trial period was happening, and we were encouraging, well, not we, wasn't it? The SU at the time and the sabbatical officers and members of staff are encouraging students to make the most of this trial period and make sure you are seen and are using the library out about in these later hours, so that we can keep it forever. It didn't happen, it wasn't popular enough. So I'm all for the motion coming into council again. Just to let you know, I'm sceptical that things change. But, oh, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Could they at least extend the hours instead of a period? Because I know people are doing job learning, so I'm not sure when the deadlines are for them, but at least in that period of time.
What happened to the motion?
Do we have any comments or questions via the Zoom chat at all? Don't think we do at this point. Yes, go ahead.
I'm not sure if it still is, but I remember from my first and second year, the waterfront building was always open all night. I used to be sitting in 3 o'clock in the morning doing my work, so obviously that might be a bit early to be doing that could be an option as well.
If I can reply, Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think waterfront building is still 24-hour access.
Well, it's not access,
Such. That's the first I've known.
Okay. Yeah, I think it still is 24-hour access. I think it's my books and.
Yeah, and also, have they ever thought about just redirecting security from waterfront building to the library? Because surely the library is a better study space than the waterfront building.
it's an interesting question. I don't know the nitty gritty of what the security deal does or what they do.
It was, have they ever thought about redirecting the security from the waterfront building to the library, as the library is a bit more study friendly than the waterfront building? Perfect, thank you.
Great. Any more comments on this bit of any of the business? No. Yeah.
Surely we could suggest to do another trial again, because that was a few years ago and COVID happened in between that as well. So.
And we're now on block learning, we obviously changed from a different learning style. So surely
vigorous nods from present education.
Surely it's now a completely different environment and set of kind of things we have to meet than it was however many years ago it was done. So surely it's a good time to have another trial post-COVID and now in a new block learning style.
Lots of stuff there for you, Dara, on that discussion. I hope that's been helpful for you. If you are looking at putting a motion in, might be worth having a chat with Alex about that motion between councils. I've got another piece of any of the business that's been emailed in by a rep that wasn't able to attend. They have emailed in around a summer ball. So they've said, I'm just going to read out what they said. It's from Barbara Miranda, which is one of our business school reps, I think. I've also had some feedback about students wanting a return to the summer ball this year. We understand that it's been taken over by the SU, so it'd be great to have this back. We should take into account the spiking situation as well. For example, wherever the summer ball will go, we decide to have the ball has to have. I think it's the word. They're basically saying about how that where we have the summer ball should be factored into the spiking stuff and the motion on spiking as well, around who's received training and who hasn't, and that sort of thing. Any comment again from Alex?
Oh, sorry. So I think it's okay to say, and this rep in particular will be happy to hear when they read the minutes, and I'm sure loads of you in the room. It's something that Meg and I are also really passionate about, and we put through a bid which to the annual giving fund to get some money towards this, which is going on to the second stage. So take everything I'm saying with a pinch of salt, but it might happen. And if it does, it might happen to be at a private venue as well this time, not at a local bar.
Great. Any other comments or questions on that? Nothing through from Zoom either, I don't think. So, great. We will note that, and we're going to move on. We're almost there, folks. 2 more bits of any of the business, and you are free. Sarah, you wanted to give a quick update from the Board of Trustees.
Hi all, I'm hoping that's better.
Yep, we can hear you quite well, yeah.
Great, I'll just keep it this volume and exact distance then, thank you. The first point was that our summer ball bid was not successful, but we will be bidding for money from the Student Experience Fund at the university for that, and staff are pretty committed to being in a summer ball next May, we hope. So if you want to be involved, just drop us a line and we'll keep you involved. Also wanted to give an update from the Board of Trustees. So the Board of Trustees is the kind of head of our corporate governance as an organisation. They look after our strategy and the legal side and the financial side of the SU, and I should tell you what they've been doing on your behalf as volunteers. So they've held 5 meetings and will be holding a development day next week this year. They reviewed our finances on a monthly ongoing basis, just ensuring that we're within agreed budgets. Through that, they approved some additional admin support to keep your SU running. They've approved audit terms for the SU for this year, so to ensure that we're compliant with the Charities Commission and that we can submit our accounts to Companies House. They've approved a strategic review for the SU, which is ongoing, and thank you so much to those of you filling in the survey that's gone out about that. It's so important that we get your feedback. They will be reviewing the Shop SU function in January 22 prior to the opening of the Integrated Care Academy on that side of the campus in April 22. And most importantly, they will be coming to a development day next Friday, the 19th, and we'll be in the social space at 10:30. So if you'd like to meet our board and come for a free coffee, then I'd warmly extend that invitation to you all. It'd be great for them to meet you. I think that's pretty much what the board's been up to.
Alex, I've muted you because there was a terrible feedback. And the way to resolve this is when someone is speaking on Zoom for you guys to be on mute. So now we can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself now.
Sorry about that. Oh, we can see everything now. Great. Yeah. So we don't need the slides up now, I suppose. You can see Gagana on the screen. Yeah. Any questions, comments on Board of Trustees updates?
Could you please provide dates for this meeting in an email to us for our convenience? Thank you.
For Board of Trustees?
Yes.
So Board of Trustees meetings aren't, I don't think, open to...
You said there was an open meeting on the 15th, was it?
Oh, sorry. Was I not listening?
Absolutely, I'll provide it in an email. But the 19th of November, so Friday at 10:30, they're all coming in for coffee into the social space. So if you'd like to meet them, please come along.
Great. Any other questions from people on Zoom or anywhere else?
Yes, we have one student on Zoom who wants to speak.
Yeah, but no one else wants to speak on the board update? No, don't think so. Great. Go ahead. Hello.
Liz, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Lusakari, the part-time students representative. I just wanted to bring something up with regards to part-time students, especially those taking Masters of Public Health. So recently, they drew my attention to some issues they noticed in their hair updates. They noticed that they're actually doing a master's degree in health policy, which was not communicated to them initially when they got the offer. And they are disturbed as they don't know what the future holds for them, and they don't even know if they can progress to a postgraduate degree in UniSuffolk or any other university. So I would like to bring it up as AOB, if we can consider this, or give me some update about it so I can inform them about what the future holds for them. They just want to know if it's possible for those that are doing masters in public health policy, if they can proceed to a postgraduate degree, a PhD afterwards, and what the economy holds for them in terms of employability and lucrativeness of the job. That's my consideration.
Great, thanks. What I'm going to suggest with that, unless anyone has any comments, what I'm going to suggest is that perhaps you pick that up with Alex, our President of Education, outside of this meeting, and we can work, because that seems like quite a specific issue, so perhaps we can pick that up at the meeting with Alex and see what we can do with colleagues at UNICAF to try and address that, if that sounds okay.
Very well, no problem, sir.
Great. If you send, you have my email address, so if you send the details to me in an email, and then I can put you and Alex together and perhaps you can have a meeting and discuss that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Great. And Alex is nodding at me as well, so that's great. Fantastic. Any other, am I on mute? No, good. Any other business? Anyone on anything? No, I think we're done. So thank you for everyone for coming. Thank you for bearing with us with some of the teething problems we've had today. I think it went okay, actually. There were a few problems, but we got there. We got through everything. So thank you for those in person and for those attending on Zoom. I hope you've all enjoyed your first council experience. If you do have any feedback, of course, do let us know. You should all know my email by now because you get 10 emails off me all the time. So drop me an email if you've got any feedback on how this first hybrid session went. We're always keen to improve council. Next council meeting is December 8th, I believe. And a note, it will not be in this room. Annoyingly, for one session, it won't be in this room. It will be in WLT1, so the first big lecture theatre in Waterfront, because this room was not available for that day. But all the rest of them will be in here. That's it. You're free to go. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. And bye-bye, everyone on Zoom as well.
Yeah,